A very good morning to you all. In this today's biology session, we are going to learn about the transportation in human being. Last week we have learned about the respiration in human being. So today we'll move to the transportation in human being. So what is transportation in human being? What are all the contents present inside it and what is it also called? We'll see in the definition. So transportation takes place in the circulatory system. So, the bodily system consisting of the heart, blood vessel, and the blood that circulates blood throughout the body and it delivers nutrition and other essential material to the cells and it removes the waste product. This process is called as cardiovascular system. So, in general, the bodily system it consists of heart, blood vessel, and the blood. These parts which are used in the circulation of the blood to all parts of the body. It also delivers nutrients and also other essential material to the cell and it removes the waste product. And this whole set of process is called as cardiovascular system. Okay, let us move to the transportation in human being. The main transport system in the human being is the circulatory system, as we already know. And this circulatory system consists of blood, artery, vein, capillary, and heart. What are the main things in the transportation system? Blood, artery, vein, capillaries, and heart. We will see this in detail. So, blood. So, in the blood, we can split the blood into four parts. They are plasma, red blood cells, white blood cells, and platelets. So, what is called plasma? If you centrifuge the blood, centrifuge is a machine which is used to separate the plasma, that is also called as serum, and the component of blood separately. We can separate the plasma and the component of blood using a machine called centrifuge. So by using that centrifuge, we can separate out plasma, and this plasma is used in testing various tests. Okay. So this blood contain plasma, red blood cells, white blood cells, and platelets. So this plasma transports food, water, carbon dioxide, nitrogenous waste, etc. So the red blood cells which are used in the transportation of oxygen. The white blood cells which kills the harmful microbes and protects the body. And the platelets which helps in the clotting of blood and it prevents the loss of blood injury during an accident. So if we met an accident and there is a loss of blood, these platelets come and make our blood to stop immediately from our body. So there is a platelet act as a clotting factor here, right children? So what is RBC, WBC, platelets? These are all the blood components which is present in the blood. So we'll move to the next one. Oh, arteries. Generally, you just keep it in mind. This is a shortcut to keep it in mind where the blood move away and where it move towards. Arteries, A means away. Keep it in mind. A means away. Arteries, which carries a pure blood from the heart to all parts of the body. These arteries are thick-walled and do not have valves. Okay, children. So arteries which carry pure blood from the heart to all the parts of the body. These are thick-walled and do not have valves. And the next one is vein, which carries the impure blood from all parts of the body to the heart. They are thin walled and have valves. Why these veins have valves means the impure blood which are collected from the body and it straightly pass away into the heart. If it straightly pass away to the heart will get damaged. So suddenly there will be a heart attack. So because of that, the veins are very thin walled and it moves uh, and it have valves. Okay, the next one is capillaries. Capillaries are very narrow blood vessels which connects the arteries and the veins together. And the exchange of food, water, oxygen, carbon dioxide between the blood and the cells takes place through these capillaries. So finally what will happen? The blood which is carried from the arteries which move to all parts of the body, and the deoxygenated blood will move from the artery to the veins with the help of capillaries. So these capillaries will support the deoxygenated blood to pass to the veins, and these veins in turn pass to the vena cavas, and the blood from the vena cava enter into the heart. This is the process happening in the blood. We will see this in later. So the next one is heart. This is a structure of heart. Heart is a muscular organ which pumps blood to all parts of the body. It has four chambers. They are the right atrium, left atrium, right ventricle, and the left ventricle. So the upper chamber are called as atrium and the lower chamber are called as ventricle. Okay. Since the ventricle pumps blood to different organ, its walls are thicker than the atria. Okay. So the ventricular valves are thick compared to the atrium valve. So the right and left chamber are separated by a septum. The thing which is present in pale pink color in between the ventricle, right ventricle and the left ventricle is called as septum. This prevent the mixing of oxygenated and deoxygenated blood. The atria and the ventricle valve between them to prevent the blood flowing backward. Okay. Let us move to the working of heart. First, we have to study the parts of the heart, and then only we can understand the working of heart. So this is called as aorta, and this is the pulmonary artery. This is the pulmonary vein. This is left atrium, and this is right atrium. This is left ventricle, and this one is right ventricle. The left atrium and the left ventricle is separated by a mitral valve. Like the same, the right atrium and the right ventricle are separated by a tricuspid valve. Okay, this is superior vena cava, this is inferior vena cava, and these are all the parts which is present in the heart. Now let us move to the function of the heart. Sorry, the working of heart. So with this diagram itself, I'll explain the working of heart. First, the oxygenated blood from the lungs move into the pulmonary vein, into the left atrium, where the left atrium is relaxed. So from the left atrium, when the atrium gets contracted, it enters through the mitral valve into the left ventricle. So once it enters into the left ventricle, and when the left ventricle contracts, it moves through the aortic valve and move out through the aorta. Okay, from the aorta, it moves out through all parts of the body, and again by the help of the capillary and vein, the blood becomes deoxygenated and it enter into the inferior vena cava and the superior vena cava from all parts of the body as a deoxygenated blood. Once the deoxygenated blood enter into the right atrium through vena cava, the right atrium get relaxed, so it enter into the right atrium, and when the right atrium gets contracted with the help of tricuspid valve, it move into the right ventricle. So when the right ventricle gets contracted, it move out through the pulmonary artery. So artery means away. So after it move away from the pulmonary artery, it enter into the lungs, and there the gases exchanges takes place. So after the gases exchange takes place from the lungs, it again gets purified and the oxygenated blood again enter into the left atrium with the help of pulmonary vein. This is a chain like circulation. So both deoxygenated blood and the oxygenated blood enter in and out of the heart. So both the process happens at the same time. So it is called as double circulation. Can you understand, children? So now I'll explain it here. So see this diagram, you will get a clear picture. So this is head and arms, this is lungs, liver, stomach and intestine, kidney, lower body, legs. So see here, the red color is the oxygenated blood, and this one is the oxygenated blood, and these are the deoxygenated blood. So blood from the, as I said already, blood from the pulmonary vein enter into the heart, and with the help of aortic valve it moves out to all parts of the body. Okay, so after it enters into all parts of the body, with the help of the capillaries here, which will be present here, with the help of the capillaries it again enter into the vein, small vein, which is called as renal vein, here hepatic vein, and with the help of these veins join and form a inferior vena cava. Like the same here, superior vena cava. The deoxygenated blood from all parts of the body enter into the vena cavas, that is inferior vena cava and superior vena cava, and finally it enter into the heart, that is to the right atrium and to the left right ventricle, and move out through the pulmonary artery into the lungs. Here gaseous exchanges takes place, and after that the deoxygenated blood in the lungs is converted to oxygenated blood, and it again moves into the pulmonary vein, and again from the pulmonary vein it enters the heart, and through the aortic valve it circulates to all parts of the body. This is the working of heart. This, can you understand the function of heart, children? Okay, let us move to the description of it. When the left atrium relaxes, oxygenated blood from the lungs flow into it through the pulmonary vein. So as I said, first oxygenated blood from the lungs flow into the pulmonary vein. When it contracts, the left ventricle expands, that is from the pulmonary vein it enters into the left atrium. So when the left atrium contracts, the left ventricle expands and the blood flow into it. Then the left ventricle contracts and the oxygenated blood pumps out through the aorta to all parts of the body. Okay, so as I said, aorta is the main valve which sends the oxygenated blood to all parts of the body. After the circulation through all parts of the body, the deoxygenated blood enters the right atrium through the vena cavas. So after entering to all parts of the body, the blood enter through these two vena cavas, that is superior vena cava and inferior vena cava. When the right atrium contracts, the right ventricle expands and the blood flow into it. The deoxygenated blood from the vena cava enter into the right atrium, and when the right atrium contracts, the right ventricle expands and the blood flow into it. Then the right ventricle contracts and the blood is pumped to the lungs through pulmonary artery. So this is here when it moves out through the pulmonary artery to the lungs. So when the right atrium contracts, it enters the right ventricle. When the right ventricle contracts, it moves out through the pulmonary artery and ends in the lungs. So in the lungs, carbon dioxide is removed and the oxygen is absorbed. This is called as gaseous exchanges. That the carbon dioxide is removed and the oxygen is absorbed, and the oxygenated blood again enters the left atrium and the process repeat. Since blood flows through the heart twice in one cycle, it is called as double circulation. Okay. So this is the working of heart. So repeatedly, if you read this, children, you will get a clear picture of it. So now we have studied about the blood, arteries, veins, capillaries. So now we are going to look at the lymph. What is lymph? Lymph is a colorless fluid present in the intracellular space. It is formed from the plasma. As I have already said, plasma is separated from the blood. So lymph is also present in the plasma, which is a colorless fluid. Plasma will also be a colorless fluid. Sometimes it looks like a very pale yellow in color, which escapes from the capillaries. Lymph drain into lymphatic capillaries. So lymphatic system, it is a system where we get immunity. So lymph is a main fluid which is used in the immune system. Okay. So lymphatic capillaries form lymphatic vessels and join into large vein. So lymph transports digested fat and drain excess fluid from the intracellular space back into the blood. It contains lymphocytes which kills germs and protect our body. So the main thing is lymph contain lymphocytes which kill the germs and protect the body. That is, it gives immunity to the body. These lymph is a colorless fluid which is present in the plasma itself. Right, children? We'll move to the heart of mammals, birds, amphibians, reptiles and fishes. So the heart in mammals. The heart in mammals and the birds have four-chambered heart. We said that we the human being also have four-chambered heart. The right and the left side of the heart is separated by a septum. This prevents the mixing of oxygenated and deoxygenated blood and provides efficient supply of oxygen. This is necessary because they need more energy to maintain their body temperature. So the heart in mammals and birds are like the same as human being, which is four chambers, and the working of heart is also the same as human beings. The second one is the heart in amphibians and reptiles. So amphibians, what is amphibians? Where you have found amphibians? So the organism which live both in water and in land is called as amphibians. Reptiles are the one, for example, crocodile and lizard are an example of reptiles. So they have three chambers and allow some mixing of oxygenated and deoxygenated blood because they do not use energy to maintain their body temperature. So maintaining the body temperature is more important. So these organisms do not have the capacity to maintain their body temperature. Their body temperature is the same as the temperature of the surrounding. So these can live both in water and also in the land. So for the heart and mammals, it contains four-chambered heart. For the heart of amphibians and reptiles, it contains three-chambered heart, and it allows some oxygenated and deoxygenated blood mixing. So four-hearted chamber organisms do not have the uh, process of mixing oxygenated and deoxygenated blood, but in heart and amphibians and reptiles have the process of mixing oxygenated and deoxygenated blood. So their body temperature is same, which is in the surrounding. So the heart and fish have only two chambers and the blood is oxygenated. So if you see the fish, it will breathe through the gills present in the fish. So the heart of the fish is two chambered, only it contains oxygenated blood. There is no so, working of heart as like in human beings. Can you understand, children? Now we will move to the transportation in plants. In plants, transportation of material like food, water, and minerals takes place through conducting tissues called xylem and phloem. So, the food material from ground, that is from the root to the plant, and from the plant to all parts of the body, are transported with the help of xylem and phloem. So first thing is the xylem. Xylem transport water and mineral from the roots to all parts of the plant. It consists of xylem vessels and tracheids. These xylem vessels and tracheids are dead cells, but it helps in the transport of water and mineral from the root to all parts of the body. Water and the minerals enter the root by diffusion. You already have studied about the xylem and phloem in the grade 9 itself. So what is meant by diffusion? Diffusion is the transfer of solid liquid gases by the membrane. Then due to the transpiration, the suction force help in the upward movement of water and mineral. So here is the root which consists of minerals, water which are absorbed through the plants, and it is transported to all parts of the body, and by the sun's rays the water get evaporated from the leaf surface. The process from the root to the leaf is called as is the thing happening in the xylem, that is transport of water and mineral from the root to all parts of the body. Now let us move to the phloem. Phloem transports food from the leaf to all parts of the body of the plant. So xylem, which transport water and mineral from the root to the plant, but phloem, it transport water and mineral from the leaf to all parts of the plant. So this process of transporting the energy material from the leaf to all parts of the plant is called as translocation. What is it? It is called translocation. The phloem consists of seed tubes and companion cells. It consists of seed tubes and companion cells for this transfer of water and minerals from the leaf to other parts of the plant. Food from the leaf is transferred to the xylem by the help of ATP molecule, that is adenosine triphosphate molecule. This is the energy molecule. So food from the leaf is transferred to the xylem by the energy ATP molecule. Due to the osmotic pressure, water enters the phloem and helps in the transport of food. So there occurs a osmotic pressure and water enters the phloem and helps in the transport of food. This process is happening in the transportation in plants, and with the help of this the plant get energy supplements. Thank you, children.